Today we're diving into a story that honestly feels like it's straight out of a movie. We're talking about a company, a total collapse, a mysterious mentor, and a plan to literally reshape an entire country. And that's what brings us to the big question hanging over this whole thing. Is this a work of absolute strategic genius? I mean, a plan so bold it's almost hard to wrap your head around? Or is it just a massive, spectacular delusion? Let's get into it. Okay, so to really get a handle on Oak's ambition, you've got to know this story from 16th century Japan. It's about this warlord, Hideyoshi. The legend says he built an entire castle in just one night. And it wasn't just about defense. It was a psychological blow to his enemies, just crushing their will to fight. And that's exactly what Oak Inc. thinks it can pull off today, but in the world of business. So what is their castle in one night? Well, here it is. This is not about, hitting sales targets or boosting profits. No, their stated mission is to use a brand new AI-powered algorithm to basically run the whole economy and, get this, make Japan a completely tax-free nation by the year 2050. I mean, a goal that huge just makes you wonder, where on earth did an idea like that even come from? Well, the answer, it turns out, was forged in fire. A complete and total crisis. See, you can't really understand the company's grand vision until you understand the personal hell its founder went through. It all came crashing down in 2021. The media started calling the company a scam, which kicked off a massive police investigation. And that's when the founder, Win-hei Ha, got some strange advice from his mentor, this mysterious figure they only call the Master. The advice? Disappear, go into a forced exile, and just vanish from the face of the earth. And this tells you just how bad it got. The human costs, the stress, the isolation. It was so intense that in just 1 month, Ha's weight dropped to only 45 kilograms. He totally cut himself off from his own family, scared that he was putting them in danger. He was just spiraling into this deep psychological torment. So there he is at his absolute lowest point. Everything he's built is in ruins. And then a single message comes through from the Master. It's not a grand plan. There's no explanation. It's just a simple, powerful prophecy. You will definitely not die. And believe it or not, that was the moment everything started to change. You see, that crisis wasn't the end of the story. Far from it. It actually became the raw material for a total rebirth. The company that rose from those ashes was designed specifically around the lessons he learned during all that suffering. And the Master's next instruction was, well, it was really strange. He told Ha to write a very personal letter to his son. Now, this wasn't just some kind of therapy. The Master actually said that this letter, written by a father at his lowest point, was going to be the official blueprint for the entire new company, for Oak Inc. Next up was the moneymaker. The Master apparently forced Ha to build a Forex trading AI, and this thing was powerful. In simulations, it could turn $10,000 into $53 billion. But, and this is so important, the Master put a hard limit on it. The profits from this AI could never be more than 30% of the company's total revenue. Why? To make sure OAK was building real, sustainable businesses, not just becoming some kind of Wall Street hedge fund living off speculation. And this quote from the Master pretty much sums up the whole philosophy here. Every single step, the exile, the letter, the AI, it was all framed as part of some deliberate, almost destined plan. So the big question is, how does a philosophy like that actually turn into a real-world business strategy? Well, that whole nightmare of being accused and distrusted by everyone, that experience directly shaped their new strategy, which is, frankly, pretty radical. They knew that just making promises wasn't going to cut it anymore. They had to build a fortress of trust, and they had to do it fast. So, first, they decided to structure the whole company like a giant oak tree. You've got the roots. These were the first companies kind of operating under the radar, a bit murky. Their job was to quietly build a community and a foundation of trust. And only when those roots were deep and strong enough would the trunk, a completely transparent, internationally audited financial company, finally break through the ground for everyone to see. And that led to their killer move, their core principle. They flipped the whole idea of risk on its head. Instead of asking you, the customer, to trust them, this new kind of weird company, they went out and got a 100% refund guarantee from huge established banks like Vietnam's BIDV and ACB. Just like that, the customer's risk is gone.
Zero. And it's not backed by Oak's promise, it's backed by the entire banking system.
Okay, so this whole castle of trust strategy is built on three main pillars. Pillar one, the ignition switch. They needed to get 1,600 customer deposits, not really for the money, but as cold, hard proof to show the banks that their model worked. Pillar two, a very specific kind of leadership team, ex-military for discipline and teachers for communication. And third, a flagship product that's basically a Trojan horse.
And here's that Trojan horse. A massive 64% of their projected money is supposed to come from a childcare AI. Now, it has two jobs. First, it gets them inside the family circle, building that deep, intimate trust. But second, by getting involved in a child's early education, it becomes their main way of recruiting and training for their real mission to create a future workforce of 1 million highly skilled people. So, the castle is designed, the strategy is rolling. What's next? What does the future hold? Well, it turns out building the thing is just the first battle. The real war, the real challenge, is what comes after. Oak has actually laid out a pretty clear roadmap for how they're going to go from those murky beginnings to a totally transparent future. They have this milestone called Independence Day. That's when they launch their official financial company, AKIE, which will be under government oversight. Then later, there's Freedom Day. That's when all those original root companies finally pass international audits and the entire Oak Group can officially, formally launch. And all of this, the crisis, the AI, the trust strategy, it's all in service of two huge long-term goals. First, create 1 million high-quality workers in Vietnam by 2030. And second, that moonshot goal we started with, make Japan a tax-free country by 2050. There's a line from one of their own documents that just nails the challenge they're facing. It says, building the company, their castle, was tough, sure, but running it, keeping it going, making it grow, that is the real war. And for OAK, that war is just getting started. And that brings us right back to where we started. Is this whole audacious plan from OAK Inc., born from a crisis, guided by this mysterious mentor, is it really a blueprint for the future? Or is this incredible castle that seems to have been built overnight, is it all just sitting on a foundation of sand? I guess only time will tell.